All right. Canopy at Citrus Plaza. I don't know. Which one is it called? I guess it's Canopy at Citrus and Citrus Plaza. Who knows? Anyway, we got these two signs. One's double face, one single face. You guys already kind of know all that. But had to put in much work. You guys will be putting in much work. We got, a million little boxes to make. You got these sidecars, which are their own cabinets. We got regular channel letters that you got to weld up that go inside, trim cap, all that. Plus, you have to then fit all of the 3/4 faces. You've seen those faces, the slide-in ones, the trimless ones. So you got to drill all the screw holes and all that. If you hear any noise, that's the me and my boys. No, that's the 3D printer. I'm 3D printing you some jigs in order to drill those faces, so make it easy on you. Yeah, what do we got? That's these cats here, these little testers. So I got 3D print guy here with some drill guides, so it's going to make it easy for you guys to drill the sides on these. So that's what the noise you're hearing. Playing with our toys. So anyway, so we got the main frame. We got power here. We got the sidecars that hook to it that are basically their own cabinet system. That's its own sign and a sign. We got the funky Mjolnir because it's so skinny. This is a little funky from compared to what you usually make. Plus over here, you just like a regular set of channel letters, you got your own little channel letter page over here. So with that being said, let's get after it. I'll go over the lay of the land here. So because the frames are essentially identical, I'll point out the differences in a bit. It's mostly just skins and things. But for the most part, all your jigs and all your frame parts. So it's just basically 2 of everything or 4 of everything or whatever it needs. So you'll just split the parts up between the 2. So you got your main frame, your jiggies are the same. Doesn't matter if it's the single or the double face. And you got 2 power boxes, all the same. And even these guys are just mirrored. So I went ahead and made them the same. The one set that faces the opposite direction, I just flipped the holes and everything should just mirror. So you can treat all 3 sets like 3 sets, no problem. Same thing with the faces here. The one double face guy here will be the one face for both the double and single. And then you'll just put the double face on one side and you'll put the blank on the other side, and that makes a single face. So there's that. And then you've seen these. I made the tester for the double faced. So essentially you're going to have 16 of both to make the single sided will have the mounts for the 040 white. So you're going to have 8 boxes that are double faced, like the tester I made, where you're going to rivet them together. But then the other one that just is blank on the one side, the single sided, you'll make 8 more that have the little mounties. Here's all the sidecar parts. These are all 09. And then I went ahead, there is the 063 parts because that's actually where each of the boxes. So these long boys here are both going to build the boxes for you. The actual each individual box, what do you want to call them? Frames. And then this will also give you the framing in order to make the sidecar parts all go together. Because these guys are actually like 10 foot long. So these needed to be seamed and whatnot. So these frame rails out of 063 will help you seam together all this. We'll go over all that. Here's your 040 whites. Now 8 of these will be double face. So you'll just duplicate some GEs on one side and GEs on the other. And then the other 8 don't need to be, they only need to be single face. So there's the Mjolnir, go over all that. And then the acrylic, you've seen this, so we're good to go. You got 24 faces coming at you there and 21 of the squares, the 10 by 10s. And like I said, I'm 3D printing some jigs for you to drill those, make that easy for you cats. And then we've got trim cap, but I think this might get treated first and then trim cap, then paint. So like Indio kind of thing. So, cause I think you got to match that color, whatever's going on, whatever this is. Yeah. So it's probably got black and then that's probably vinyl or something. I don't know what's going on. So get that to first shop first. So anyway, let's start with the frame. So the frame is kind of classic, basic kind of thing. But it's only 6 inches wide. So that's the tricky part for having something this tall. So you're just going to assemble it like normal, but we have a 0 access bars are kind of boxed in on the side. You've done this before where you're just going to go ahead and put the jiggy in there and then you're just going to tack it on the front. So you don't really have access to the sides, but you're going to tack it really good all on the front and then go ahead and grind it down. And then we're going to be relying on the faces to give us that good Lord's shear strength, right? Or strength, however you say. But on the side here, you can get in there real good. All the jiggies are set up to take, like we do, 5/16 riv nuts. And the 5/16 riv nuts are how these little side guys here, the little sidecar boys, are going to attach right there. You can see that. So get all that dialed in. So yeah, I'm trying Corel 2025, but you can see the lag. Corel 2025 just be lagging out. Let me see. I'll close all these windows. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, you can see, man, look how slow that is. Go, go, go. Anyway, so, and I have all the holes slid here. This is how you're going to build this lattice frame for each of these individual boxes. So you're going to go ahead and have these little side boys here. So once you put these through, you'll poke those through. So you got to kind of build it with, like you do, you build the inside piece first, and then you put this inside piece, slide it over each of the fingers of the jiggies. So you kind of build it from the inside out, and then you can go ahead and put the outside box, and then you're also going to slide that piece in there, make that work. Looks like it might be a little tough to slide in with this guy in the way, but I think you can make it work because it has to kind of come up and over and slide in to this guy. So anyway, have fun with that. Hopefully it works for you. But like I said, you got to kind of, put this guy onto this jig first, and then build this guy onto the jig, and then trap the last guy out and bring it all together. So just kind of watch your order of things. Hopefully I didn't trap you, but yeah, it looks like this piece definitely needs to go in first. So anyway, and then these are just C-channel, guys, that you can put over there after. You're going to just lords those on, or tack them. I mean, yeah. And then you'll be, now you see the all day. I went with the cooking parlance, because instead of what I would normally do is kind of break this off into its own file, and then break this one off into its own file. But then you can already see how much is going on with this. And I really didn't want to have to break this off into two separate files, because everything's kind of the same. So I went ahead with cooking. So it's quantity 8 all day. It'll be up to you to decide which tables they go to. So you know that 4 goes to one and 4 goes to the other. So when you see all day, it's for the whole job. 2 all day there. But when you got 4 all day there, you'll see what's up. But that's kind of how I did. I went ahead and just made everything for the whole job. So I know I don't usually do that, but on this one, everything's close enough. There's just a few things that are different. So anyway, so get all that good. This thing will be probably kind of heavy, especially if the faces are in there. If you've got the 3/4 inch faces in all of this and the sidecars attached, being 10 feet tall, it's kind of a big thing. We want to make sure that you got this kind of tacked in there well. So I got Rosie there. She's like, hey, let's get this tacked in really good. Make sure it's kind of burnt to the, to the returns there and everything. And then of course, when we put the face on, that should make it all nice and good. But you've got 4 of those across, 2 across here. And I got your cut list. So you got some 1.5 by 3/16 if we have it laying around. Even quarter would be great. I think it'd be fine with 1/8. Don't go buying. I don't think you need to go buying a bunch of square tube if you don't. I think 1/8 will be fine. But if we have 3/16 laying around, let's go with that. Just a little beef. And of course you have 5 footers, the 4x4 by quarter for the Mjolnirs. So anyway, so get the frames taken care of. And then let's talk about down here, this nightmare. So the whole idea is that the only way to get power and get access, because the thing, again, is only 6 inches wide and there's no room to take doors off. And even if you could take a door off, you can't reach in there to get here, because it's going to be, I'm sure, 2 power supplies. I hope it's 2 power supplies. If it's more than that, I don't know. So anyway, so what I did is the faces are a 32nd of an inch oversized to essentially the reverse channel. That's why I have you doing this with reverse and not just coil, because that way we know when you reverse, you guys do a pretty good job of keeping it inside the face. So if anything, it'll be in a little bit, and that's fine. Especially your corners, I want those kind of rounded off like we do, like 050 rounds right there, 050 rounds right here. You'll notice that when it comes time to put that in there, those actually kind of conflict a little bit. That's the, where we got it? There you go. So you can see where it got square, and that's a 5/32 bit for cutting that out. So the radius is going to interfere with some of these, especially on the more pointy boys there. They're getting real close. So I'm kind of relying on the fact that when we do, yeah, see right there, but we know that 050 around that. So you just give that a little sand, and that's the whole idea, is that you got to fit these channel letters And again, keep them a minimum of 3-inch, even if they're a little fat, because let me show you, I did spec out, man, 25 is just acting rubbish. I did spec out the, that's actual trim cap. So I've got about a 1/16 to an 1/8 here. So if you make, that's a 3-inch return sitting on 09. And then that's the, this is where it's going to mount inside. So if you guys, even if it's a little bit fat, that's good, because that'll just give you that little bit extra room. We're going to have text coat and whatnot. So, but anyway, 3/4 inch trim cap. That's how these letters are going to fit in there, and they're going to attach to these guys. So let's go over those. So you got these bars that you're going to make. They're just shoebox. You're going to rivet them, and then you have left for the left side past the Dutchie, and then you have the right side over here. And I went ahead and mirrored both sides, so that way there isn't any confusion of accidentally putting the wrong side on the wrong side. So we will have holes that won't be used on the single faced, but I went ahead and just made it the same, so you don't have to worry about it. But just make sure though that the left is on the left side. Otherwise these are justified the wrong way and they won't fit. Or you'll just be drilling your own holes and you're going to be sad. So anyway, so you're going to just put those together like that. Like I said, shoebox, top goes to top. You've got right and left, you're going to mirror it. And then I went ahead and made these little cutouts so you can then see the letter on the inside, because you wouldn't be able to see the letter. Anyway, see, I'm always thinking of you guys. So you're going to go ahead and just rivet those together and then use the Cleco holes, and you're just going to tack it inside the frame. You're going to go ahead and just trap it in there and tack it. And then that's, like I say, that's going to sit dead center. And then that's going to be what you insert the letters and bonk them and then attach them. Pain in the butt, but that's how we access power for this. So install will take the trim cap off, uninstall the set of channel letters, hopefully, and so think big leashes, think kind of long leashes so they can take this letter and set it down. And then they're going to go ahead and frap, take off the lid, and then, you know, get to work. And then when you're done, that's how it goes in. So anyway, kind of a pain in the booty, but that's the problem when you're dealing with a 6-inch wide giant sign. So anyway, and then that's there. You got 5/16 riv nuts there as well. So go ahead and get those into that bottom piece there. And that's where the power is going to go. Just watch your left and switch side, because that allows power through. So install, if you're watching this, you're going to come over here to this side, the side that's opposite the cabinet sidecar boy here. And you're going to go ahead and come up through and get your power to the box there. So you're going to make the frame, you get all that welded in, and then I think you're good to go to skin. Get all these little bars in there, get all this captured. Somebody else makes the channel letters, fine, good to go. Reverse channel style, we know how to do all that. So I think you're ready to button it up. So what I'm thinking is, you saw how I put these boxes together, these guys, right? So these guys are just going to be bend. And the way they go is they nest into each other. So I have a short side. You see how much this is short here? And then this side goes on the outside. See, the blue is outside on this side. So that way there's no seam visible from the side. That puts the seam at the bottom. And then the bottom guy, which is red, also has about 1 inch of space to move. And that allows you to actually tuck them into each other. And then you can actually put them into the box. So what I'm thinking is, I think I already told you that, but instead of trying to pop Lords and having it go off, and you have Lords running down this little strip, and then you have all these boxes sticking out like that, all these boxes like this, just sticking out, and you're trying to line up inside these holes here, or these slots, and you've got these like wiggly fingery boys here. I'm thinking you should be able to just skin these after the frame is all done. So get your frame all sexy, get everything done, get your riv nuts in, get everything all good. Power's ready to go. Get all that done. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you about that guy. I'll add that. That'll be a little added thing. Yeah, we got the 1.5 by 3. What size is that? Close enough to 45 or 44. You see that right there. I'll call that audible. 44, 1.5 by 3 goes right there, like we do. Forgot that guy. Anyway, so once you get all that done, go ahead and Lords up the faces, I think. And then I think you can build these inside once you get them bent. I think you can build them in, and then you can see where all of this will just rivet. You can just rivet those in. I don't think you'll need to Lords them. You can make that decision. If you feel like Lordsing them in, that's great, but I don't think you need to. You've got 3 rivets here, 3 rivets there, 4 across. and they just got to hold those faces in. So they're not doing a lot of work. So anyway, and then that's where you divide these up. Like I said, you're going to put the side that doesn't have the little mounts here for the white. You're going to back those up against 8 of these. And then that's going to give you 8 of the double-sided boys. And you're going to go ahead and put them into the double-sided. Then you're going to take the remaining 16 that have tabs, and you're going to put that into the single-sided boy. And then that's it. Then there's nothing facing out the back. So these will be the same. Like I said, though, you're going to pick 8 of these, and you're going to double side the LEDs, and then do the other side just single. Now, when it comes time to wiring, let's go over that right now while we're here. We're going to do the kind of the same thing you're doing with Loma. Is I think you daisy chain these. So what I did is I put the power hole in the far corner of each of these. So you see I got power holes both sides, depending on which side you want to roll. But see right there in the bottom and the top, right? So what you're going to do is start with this homie, and then just have a leash that's long enough to get you down into the next box. And I think you can just feed it along the corner there, and then attach, and then daisy chain with another blue leash and another blue leash and another blue leash all the way down. And you can just keep feeding them through those little holes. And then you'll get down to this bottom guy right here. And there's your bottom holes there. And then it's just a matter of getting it down past all this to the box. So it's up to you how that works. You should be able to reach in. Like I said, that's what this is for. You take this arrow out, you can reach your hand in there and grab that leash and kind of work blind. And then you take one side of these faces out, or, the LED or the channel letters out, and then bring it all down. So anyway, so that's that. Get it how you can, get in while you can, all that. And again, you're going to go ahead and Lord's one face for the single or for the double face, and then the other side is the double face. And then you're just going to seal up the back of the other side with just a complete blank face. So when it comes time to Lordsing all the faces on. Power guy is just our conventional box. Just make sure everything tucks in. Hello. I'm just kidding. I know. I'm a dick. It's all good. Anyway, so you got your 5/16 right there. That's all that way it's easy. 5/16 is easier than frap. I figured even if they hand tighten it down in there, you get your hand in there, or even just a socket with your hand if you can't reach a tool. So anyway, so these will be all done. These guys will be done. So Mjolnir time. Since this thing's so skinny, you see a 4x4, and this is the rails of our normal boy here. So you can see where there's no way that you can weld on this side like we usually do. We'll weld on this side all the way around. And when we have room for like a 12 boy, when we have something like a 12 or 15 inch sign, we can get in there and burn the post to the top plate. So we're going to have to keep the top plate skinny like that. So you're going to go ahead and put the post in there, do our normal tack of all of these guys here. This right here is like our normal tack, right? And then like this right here is our normal. Okay, so get all that tack together. Then you're going to slide the post in, right? And then you're going to slide this big plate. This big boy here is going to slide all the way over the post, all the way down, and then it's going to connect on these dog bones. So this plate's a little different than our normal. Normally it goes up against here, and you have all your side boys, and that's it. But I added dog bones to the bottom of this, and then you're going to slide this all the way down, and it's going to clearance this guy who actually has this long ear sticking down too. So that way you can burn to that. See, that's going to stick out all the way down there, right? So that way you can burn to the post way down here for this axis. And then you're going to go ahead and burn this big plate from the top. Well, I got it here, but you're going to come from the top, and you're going to go ahead and put some nice welds all the way along here and burn this plate to the bottom of that. And then that gives you the ability to burn all the way around, and you can burn the front and catch the post. That's what I want. Because when you've got all of this 5x10 sail, and you're not able to weld along this axis, that's kind of silly. Granted, having all of this to burn would probably be okay, but this is more of a pivot axis for all this wind. So we definitely want to have burn across that post all the way across there. And then that post goes all the way up in. So now we've built ourselves a nice solid box. So that should be good to go. So that's how you got to do a Mjolnir when it's too skinny to actually do like we usually do. So anyway, so bear with me on that, kind of funky, but that's how we got to do it. But otherwise everything's the same. You got the little guys. Little guys will go every other, like all the other places like we do, just normal. But being that these will be cut all the way through, you can actually catch these dog bones and do like a little plug weld, rosette weld, whatever you want to call it. You can throw that in there, and you can rosette weld on the bottom side of this as well. That's why I went through on all of these. So you can actually rosette weld and burn all on the top. So this plate's going to be putting in work. This plate just kind of holding things together at that point. So anyway, but that's it. That's kind of the same, but everything else same. Put your nuts on there. It's a half inch by 13 nuts like we do. And all this is kind of the same. So now that right there is like 20 signs all at once to start with. Now sidecars, a whole nother 3 cabinets to make. So what you're doing is just making sort of these ladders. You're going to start from the inside out. And I see this as, because you don't really have much access to anything, I kind of see this as one big Lord's party. So you're going to kind of get the 063 bent up, and then you're going to Lords and Clico and maybe rivet, all quickly, like bam, bam, bam. And you're going to make, where do I have it? You're going to make this profile right here. So this blue and red is the profile you're going to make first. So you're making like this extrusion. So the red goes inside the blue. So the blue is like a C channel, right? I mean, you can see it there, yeah. But the blue's a C channel. And then you're going to take the red guy and you're going to Lords that into that and Clico it, make sure it's all good. And then that gives the Lord's ability on the side and the front to actually Lords that into the purple boy, the 090. And then that gives you this sort of extrusion that fills that pocket. And then on the blue as well, that pokes out, that's your box. So your box is kind of built into this whole extrusion. So you're going to take this guy with this seam boy on the outside, and you're going to take that and just kind of bonk it against there once it's bent. And then you can Lords in that seam there. And then you're going to take the red boys and kind of Lords them to the inside there, and then do that on both sides. And then you can see how the red becomes a Lord spot that you're going to slide, and then you're going to Lords the side there, kind of goop it up, and you're going to kind of shoebox fit these guys. See, so you can kind of spread them. You're going to bend them, but you can spread them apart and then bring them together. So that way the blue guy and the red guy are kind of to the side. Well, yeah, you don't need to spread it. You bring it to the side. Yeah, because it fits inside. Yeah. I got ahead of myself on the green. So yeah, you're going to take the blue and the red and just Lords them to the inside of the purples. And then that gives you sort of this track that the back skin will eventually Lords to as well. And that closes up the box. But anyway, yeah, so you Lords in those tracks there. And then I think before you put the back on, you go ahead and put these guys. So you'll just Lords on these tops and bottoms are just single boys, and those are the tops and bottoms of the beginning of the top box. Then the C channel boys are actually kind of the opposite of these guys. Like these guys go inside. These guys are structural, so they actually go inside the sign, right? Like that. But these cats are actually making the box. So these C channels go out, and you're going to Lords them from the bottom. Let's see if I thought I had a side view of that somewhere. Do I have a side view of that? Huh. No, I guess not. But anyway, yeah, so they're going to go right here, and that's going to create, it's going to go underneath the quarter, or the 090, and that's going to create the bottom and the top of each of these boxes here, and it's going to keep going, and it's going to be there, and it's going to be there, and it's going to be there, and then it's going to keep going, and then you're going to get to the bottom again, same as the top, and that's just the single boy. And you're just going to Lords that into place on the top and the bottom. But these guys are actually coming from underneath the 09, Clico in with some Lords, and they poke out, and they should be the same height as this guy. So this is the side of your box with your screw holes, and then this is the front, or the top and the bottom, and that's the side. So the blue guys come in from both sides and make all the cabinets at once. And then your green boys here go top and bottom, and that makes your boxes. So on this one, this is completely open. And then once all this is done, all this nonsense, and then you got your top, probably do that. Let's see, top. What do we do first, top? Or do we do skin? No, we do skin. So it's because skin is going to bend and attach to the back of the blue. And then that gives you the Lord's platform to put the top to. So yeah. So once you get this all done, you get all the 063 Lords to the inside of these cats. You know, you're going to bend this up. You're going to rivet that together just temporarily. And then these guys are actually the jiggies that hold these together. Make sure that doesn't kind of rebend or get funky. So get these all Lords together as extrusion. And then once you're ready, rivet this and then Lords these guys in. And they act like the jigs to hold it all together in one big 10-foot boy. Then you can put the back skin on, right? So you Lords the back skin on. And then that creates the top hat area. And once that's on, and you can actually, this will actually bonk against this flange, this top flange on the back skin right here, right? You bend that down. That actually sits on top of the blue boy. That's the blue guy. And then that actually is where you Lords and Clico the orange. That's the top, right? So that's this guy right here. So that'll go to the front. This is the top of the back skin, and then this is just reference for this guy. So this creates the top and the back of this thing, so that way it looks clean. And then the double-sided guys, all they do, so you're just making 2 of these. You're making 3 all the same, but you're making 2 of these that have the 2 short nozzles here, the 2 short bowies that kind of bonk against each other. Then the single face boy is just a super extended version. So all of this is the same, except at the top, the single face boy has an extendo, but this is the same as that. That's the same as that. And the back is the same. You can see right there, that's the back. That's the black part. That folds over. That's looking down from the top. It's just this is extended to have that back to make it look all clean. So it fills up the whole thing. So that's the only difference. Your double face is just short so they can bonk against each other. And what I can see from paint there, it looks like they are 2 different colors, right? So that's why we're kind of keeping them separate. And anyway, so once that's all set, it's just going to hang on there when we're ready. It's just going to go on there, and you're going to do the 5/16 riv nuts. So it'll be ready to receive that, and it just hangs and it comes down. Now I do have, because it's 30 inches between here and here, I didn't want this to kind of flap up or anything. So there is a riv nut down here. If you can remember to hit that guy, he's down here. It's a 5/16, and that will help tag this down. So I have an opening in the face down here that allows access to that. So this is below grade, like I think grade's like here. So this should get all buried. And there is the ability for this to actually catch one of the mounting bolts, because it kind of overlaps that whole thing, because it's in the way. So the box is like right about there. So it does catch that bolt hole. So anyway, just remember to try to maybe get that riv nut down there as well. And that helps nail down the bottom of this from here to here. Worst case scenario, install can shoot a screw right through it. So if they remember, whatever. I told you, these things are funky. There's just so much funk. Anyway, so yeah, Lord's party. Bring in lots of Lords. So make the extrusions, Lords them into the insides of these, and then Lords the backs, and then Lords the hats, and you should be good to go. And then all that's left will be to do all of these guys. Like I said, right now I'm 3D printing some cool, give you a sneak peek. Show us. Just don't tell them. Don't tell the other guys. But yeah, so that'll just slide in. You'll be working it from this side. I'm going to melt in some drill inserts right here, some steel inserts. That way they're guided, and that'll put you right where you need to drill. Maybe just use it to dimple, get it started anyway. And then I'm thinking we're going to use number 8s instead of number 6s. A little bit beefier. I don't think it's going to cause too much of a shadow, but anyway, that's going to line up with those holes right there. So you'll be able to just machine, make that happen. Just tuck those in there and make it work. So anyway, living in the future, man. How they gonna eat? How we gonna eat? Yeah, 3/4 trim cap. You got that. A little bit fatter than 3 is fine. These are how the faces go. single face, double face. You guys be able to figure it out. Again, I'll just give you an email update on that, but that was about 45 inches. You know how to do it. Just make it stick out a little bit on both sides. But that's 1.5 inches by 3. And then, yeah, but I think that's it. So let's see. These guys, lords all day. Sidecars. Yeah, I think you got it. So as usual, if you have any questions, hit me up.